Thank you. Bernard Monot for the non-attached. Thank you very much, Chairman. I've got 3 questions. First of all, on the investment plan from Mr. Juncker. Now, the EIB is supposed to be bringing 5 billion and 16 billion from the European Union budget. So how are you expecting to attract the private investment to reach the envelope of 315 billion? So you've got a leverage of just 15. I think that the projects are pretty weak and going over the long term. I don't think you're going to find it very easy to get the 315 million. Then what about growth in Europe? You need major structural changes, I think. And I was wondering what the EIB's priorities are in terms of its basic functions. The treaty gives you the option of putting part of your budget into actions outside Europe, but clearly quite a lot of projects outside Europe's borders never actually conclude. I'm thinking about the financing of the Korean shipyard that competes against the European ones. And there's similar situations in Congo. So the EIB works under 209, the article in the treaty, and I think it should be important for us to focus all actions on Europe in the future. And what about the future of Greece, which is putting the future of the euro in danger, but it seems that the EIB is still trying to finance this country?
Wenn schwache Projekte dabei sind in
Well, if there are any weak programs on this list, then we're not going to finance them, obviously.
We are very critical vis-à-vis the projects that have been proposed with the lists we received from the member states. There are many, many good projects in there, and there are others which I find awfully weak. And they will certainly not pass the test for an EU guarantee, and they would definitely not pass the test for the bankability that we are responsible for in the governing bodies of the bank. So I'm not worried about that. Of course, you can be wrong with an assessment of a project. That can always happen. And you learn from that, and so this is part of the deal. But if you look at the books of the bank over the last more than 50 years, you will find extremely few losses. Loss-making is something that is unknown to the bank so far. What is, however, true is that we are not a profit-maximizing institution. We are making relatively good results, and that contributes to the fact that we have accumulated reserves that have kept the member states then from the necessity of paying in cash, with the exception of this one time I've described. So this is the one thing. So weak projects, no, we have to be tough on the selection of projects. The best test for that, sir, is that we must convince the international investors of that. And the rating agencies and the international investors communities look exactly at what we are doing. And if we are going into weak projects, we have lost with them and won't get that much money. Outside the European Union, yes, I am definitely supporting the activities of the European Union and its bank outside the European Union. Because whenever the European Union has a foreign policy issue or development policy issue or wants to promote climate change around the world or energy efficiency around the world, they're coming to us. And the President of the Commission, the President of the Council, the Foreign Minister, or the High Representative is returning from the visits around the world, from the big summits, having made pledges that the European Union is going to support this or that, and they come and put it in front of our door in Luxembourg. So I'm certainly, and coming myself from Foreign Affairs, I must say I'm definitely in favor of the European Union Bank being active outside the European Union. And I'm grateful for the mandate. I believe 10% will not serve the purpose in the long run if you want to stabilize the situation in Ukraine. If one day maybe we will be allowed to work again in Russia because Russia has changed course, then we will be expected to contribute and make the European Union more attractive in these neighboring countries. We have to play a stabilizing role in the south. We have to play a stabilizing role when it comes to the refugee situation and to Ebola and international diseases. So please don't cut activities of the EU Bank outside the European Union.